Hello, fellow traders. Mark Abramsky. This is video 2, and I'm just going to be explaining to you how to find various symbols and how to find various things on your platform. Um, how do you load a chart on it? Let's look at the very first part of that. How would I load a chart on? Well, this is what I would do is I would go, let's say I wanted to load the US dollar Japanese yen chart on. Well, first of all, I highlight that particular pair. I right click on the pair that I've highlighted, and you can see it brings up about 10 or 12 different prompts here. Chart window, right? So we just left click on the chart window. Lo and behold, there you go. A chart of the US dollar, which is this one right here, just came up. Japanese yen, it always comes up at 1 hour. How do you get rid of the grid? Well, let's go over here and go to charts. And we see we pull up the charts and objects. We don't have any objects on there right now, so we keep going down and we hit grid. And you see that? It gets rid of the grid. And right now it's bars. So if we want to make the bars a little larger, we hit plus, which expands them. And if we want candles, we can have candles here. You see how it changes from bars to candles because we left clicked on candles, or we can have a line. And we left click on the line too. My recommendation is to get used to using candles. Okay, so once again, we see that if we want to bring the price over, we click the little, I told you that last video, we just click the little bit, the little sort of box here without the red arrow to the left, and it brings price over, which gives us an idea of what's going on. But that's how we bring up the charts. The second part of this, of course, is we want to learn how we access these symbols. Where are they? They're right here. You see up here, symbol. You left click, I'm sorry, right click, make that, on symbols, which brings up, once again, a series of prompts, and we go down to symbols, we left click on the symbols, and look, it brings up all the various symbols that are on the market, basically that the MetaTrader 4 platform, this is FXCM, of course, offers. And we just go plus if we want to access these particular pairs. Each one has its, Forex 3, Forex 2, Forex 1, Forex 5. Each has its different pairs in it. And you just simply, if you want to highlight it, if you want to bring it onto your chart, you just simply left click on this particular one, which is the Euro Danish Kroner, and we go up here and we left click on show. What does that do? It brings it up on our quote list. If we don't want it, we left click on it again and we press hide, and it takes it off our chart. Okay. Now where does all this show up? We can do the same thing with the CFDs, which is the Australian dollar index, the Euro stocks. I wouldn't recommend you try, especially as a newbie, I wouldn't recommend you trade any of these because they're very volatile for the time being until you learn. There's different CFDs, there's different commodities like oil and natural gas. You can see all the various subcategories. There's treasuries, bonds, there's metals, which brings up gold and palladium and all these sorts of there's copper, all of them. All you're doing is clicking on the plus, which brings up all the uh, basically financial instruments. So where would they come up? They come up here on your market watch, and they come up right at the very bottom. So you can see all the ones on my chart. You don't need to have anywhere near that amount. You can take all the ones off that you're not presently using. In other words, you go to your symbols, you right click, you bring up your symbols, and you just start hiding all the ones that are presently shown here. If you have the charts displayed, it's not going to hide them. Okay, so you have to, get rid of the charts also at the same time, because the software doesn't work if it recognizes that a chart is up. It's going to assume that you want to use that currency pair, and it's not going to allow you to hide it. So you have to get rid of the chart too. How do you get rid of the chart? You just simply go over here to where your chart, you right click, see how it brings it, and it says close, and then you just left click on close. Boom, the chart goes, disappears. Okay, that's simple. And that's it for this particular video. It teaches you how to bring up your charts, how to access your symbols, and the rest of it you can sort of play around with, figure it out. If you want to know your account history, here's your tabs at the very bottom. Tells you how many trades you've taken, your initial deposit. This is a demo account, so that's the account I created. You want to create a demo account which most closely reflects the amount of money that you're going to have in your live account. You don't want to be trading with $500,000 if you're only going to have $1,000 in your account, or $5,000. Okay. There's an alert section when you learn how to put alerts. It'll tell you where price is and give you a bit of warning before you have to enter a trade. Your mailbox just shows you your registration. You can left click, double left click on your registration. It brings up, you see the account, your email address, your login, your password, and your investor password. Okay, just all you have to worry if you're logging in is your own login information and your own password. And where do you find that? Well, you find it right there under your mailbox, but over here, you left click on your file, and you go down and you say log in to trade account, and you see it brings up your login. That's your login information, and your password is sort of secretive, but that's the password that I showed you down here. And that's where it's stored, and your server you don't have to worry about because it's demo, or it can go down to real accounts too, whatever particular server that you are on, which is part of either it'll be a real account server or it will be a demo account server. In other words, paper money. The market basically is another area where you can go to your code base. This is something that not a lot of people know, but a lot of those funny little indicators that they give you, freebies, this is where you find them, okay? There's all kinds of them, and any of the ones highlighted in yellow you can download, and it'll go into your indicator, which I showed you in the first video, which is right here. Your indicators list here, it goes into downloads, okay? So you have to download it, which is you just simply left click, which highlights it, and you right click, and you see it asks you to download, and you left click on the download, and it will put that indicator up here in that funny sort of box that you saw before, and then you say OK, and it'll put it on your chart, but it is also stored in your downloads, okay? And you can see here that I have downloaded some indicators off the code base here, and there's all kinds of them there from 2014 all the way down to 2006, where some of the MetaTrader 4 programmers that are around the internet have given their free sort of indicators away. Most of them are no good. However, you can play around with them, download some of them, see how they look, see if you can use them. Like as I said, just play around. That's the whole idea. That's how you get used to using everything. And your expert advisors, once again, are part of some of the indicators. You may download a automated system which takes trades for you even when you're watching or not watching, or when you're there or not there. And at the very beginning, to avoid using your emotions, it's not a bad idea to have some sort of a decent automated system that way. However, most expert advisors, most robots fail. So just keep that in mind too. But this is where you find them, under your experts. Your journal, basically, this is where everything you do on your MetaTrader 4 is sort of recorded, and some of the information around the MetaTrader 4 is stored here. It's not really one that you have to worry too much about. Just simply your trade, your account history, and your mailbox are the big ones, and maybe your code base if you want to continue to figure out your MetaTrader 4 platform. Anyway, that's it for lesson 2, folks, and stay tuned.